Hi there, you're on Gossip Says channel. Enjoy watching, subscribe and like it. It's growing our community. Story 1. My husband posted my body online. Last Friday I 34F spent my evening with obligatory fake name Kate, a young friend 24F from work, as she wanted to discuss something personal with me. I didn't think anything of it, as we do have a very personal relationship outside of work as well. As soon as I arrived to her place, the tension in the air was thick. She explained that she wanted to discuss a serious matter with me, but that she didn't know how to go about it. I told her to just rip the band-aid off and tell me. She told me that she had found 2 recordings of a woman she believed to be me on a pornographic website. I told her that wouldn't be possible, but she was adamant that I was the woman in the recording. And she was right. I've never recorded myself naked or having sex with my husband, but there I was in 2 recordings of 7 minutes and 4 minutes, both of them recorded in our old bedroom. As I rewatched every second of it, it starts to dawn on me that this was my husband's doing. But I pushed that deep down because there must be a reasonable explanation for this. Honestly, I left her place with my mind in a complete meltdown. I could barely hear what she was saying, but she did follow up with a text saying she's been in contact with the website about getting it taken down and that she'll help me go through this. She also said she's scouring the internet in case there are more out there. I came home and pretty much ransacked my house looking for evidence, and I found it. My husband was using a hidden spy cameras to spy on me and record me in my most intimate moments. I then just spent hours vomiting, crying, projectile vomiting some more, and begging God to just let this be a nightmare. I am a deeply religious and a fully veiled Muslim woman, and I've never been with anyone but my husband, and all this time he has been sharing my most intimate moments with the world. I don't know what to think or what to do. I can't look at him or speak to him. I've locked myself in our bedroom pretending I have COVID. All I do is look up how other people have dealt with getting things removed, and it seems like once it's on the internet, it really is forever, even if I remove it from this one website. I've been crying nonstop. He truly must be something demonic, as he is right now talking about ordering in some of my favorites to see if I have an appetite, since I haven't been eating well. I am so unbelievably hurt. I don't know how to share this with my family, how to ask for help. I am crippled with shame, anger, and pain. Answering some questions. 1. My husband, soon-to-be ex-husband, and I are the same religion, race, ethnicity, and nationality. 2. My culture does not participate in honor killings, and I am not afraid of my family harming me or not siding with me. 3. My family would support me in divorcing him. In fact, they would demand I do. 4. The laws in my country are secular, but in certain circumstances it allows for the various religious groups in the country to hold their own courts that can enforce their rulings, as long as it doesn't impose or break secular law or civil liberties. 5. I do plan on taking this to secular court and religious court, as I want him punished. 6. I am veiled by choice, and the vast majority of my fellow countrywomen do not veil. 7. I am a niqabi, meaning the only part of me visible to the public are my eyes. When I am with my family or with other women in women-only spaces, I don't veil. 8. Kate and I do not share the same religion, nor dress alike, and yet we are friends. Quell surprise. Update: I left him as I said I would. He went to work. The movers arrived, we packed my stuff, and we left. The entire time I was crying, to the point that even the movers were worried for me, but I couldn't stop myself from crying. I went home, sat my parents and siblings down, and explained the situation. My parents were and still are confused. They are elderly and fragile. They don't understand the internet. They just keep saying, okay, let's talk to the people and it will be gone. But my siblings understand. They are angry. They are sad and heartbroken on my behalf. My siblings and brother-in-laws took me home. We waited for him, and well, we had a conversation with him. He denied it at first. So my brothers were firm with him, and he started to be more truthful. He said he did it because he was depressed, because he had a porn addiction, sex addiction, and because he didn't think anyone would see it. He said he posted only a few. When we asked him to be specific, he said he posted anything from 5 to 8. We had him take it down, but who knows how many times it has been downloaded or shared. In that moment, I also found out he had a secret phone. He was also cheating on me with random women and sex workers. All this time, I was thinking he's working hard, but nope, he was out disgracing himself and betraying our marriage. At some point, he convinced us he needed to use the bathroom, and he somehow managed to call his mother, who arrived at our home with his brother and cousins. There was a commotion as they were angry at the treatment of their family member. Then things calmed down enough to explain to them what he had done. His mother fainted. His mother is elderly and not in the greatest health condition. We called for an ambulance. My neighbor had also called the police, and I was arrested by the time the ambulance arrived to take care of my mother-in-law. I spent the evening locked up. Didn't exactly have polite conversation with him. So yes, I was arrested for assaulting him, specifically slapping him, and he refused to press charges. Got released the next morning and went home to my parents. Cried some more because my parents kept crying. Then a few days later, I spoke to some lawyers my sister had contacted as they had experience with non-consensual material being posted online. They have been handling things with the police as I did press charges, and they are dealing with the websites. I also have started the process of divorce. I went to the clinic and got tested, and luckily he didn't give me anything so far, but I have another test scheduled just to make sure. I have spoken to his mother, and she apologized to me even though it's not her fault. She told me that she understood why I want him punished. She asked that I let it stay in the hands of the law rather than I hurt him or have him hurt. He's in hiding, but he still calls and texts me from random numbers. He still lies and tries to manipulate me. I've just been documenting everything he says and texts to me. Oh, at this point, everyone knows. I mean everyone, even little kids. And I feel more humiliated now than I did at first. Update: this man has destroyed everything I have worked for and has completely destroyed the very little sense of stability and safety I had left. I had to resign from my job. A job that I loved. Jobs don't come easy for me with the way that I look. I can't work there anymore because I am a potential danger to the children and stuff. Since perverted men have started to harass me at work. I work with vulnerable children, and mothers who have heard about me have started to refuse me working with their children. Some don't want me to be involved with their child because their husbands can't stop being weird. Fathers have leered at me or made lewd comments toward me, and one of them even offered me money to sleep with him. Men have catcalled me with greater frequency than ever before. Men stare at me. A man followed me from my dentist office and groped me on the street. Random men call my phone, my family home and office to verbally abuse me because my husband has posted my address, my personal and work email, phone numbers, workplace address, and every other bit of information online. It is as if the eyes and judgment of the entire world is on me. Yes, the great majority of people are sympathetic, kind, and in support of me. Many people have reached out in support of me, from old classmates to former colleagues, neighbors, members of my religious community, family friends, his family, and many, many more have expressed solidarity and kindness, but the crazies and perverts who believe him and are like him are bolder, louder, and much more noticeable. Then I find out from my lawyers and their investigators that he was drugging me and assaulting me as I slept. I suffer from migraines and insomnia and take medication for it. He saw my medication as opportunity to drug me with my own prescriptions. He shared was actually bragging on a forum where other perverts congregate how he was so clever for drugging me with my own medication, and they were encouraging him to do more things to me. Soon-to-be ex-husband has also decided to spread rumors that I was aware of the cameras and pressured him into posting online, and there are people who believe him. He also changed his mind about not pressing charges. I went to court. The judge and prosecutors were sympathetic and dismissed the case. It was a combination of my lawyers explaining the circumstances that led to me slapping him and his subsequent actions threatening me, attacking me, doxing me, and blackmailing me by saying he didn't care about the slap and that he would drop everything if I forgave him. My lawyers used his own words against him since he wrote it in text, and on a recorded call he admitted to me not having slapped him that hard and that he only pressed charges to cause me harm. But his crimes against me are still being investigated by the prosecutors. Uploaded this before, but it was deleted for some reason. Please subscribe, leave comments, rate videos, and click the bell not to miss my videos. Story 2. AIDA for my response when my family asked me about kids. I'm 22F and I come from a traditional family. By that I mean every woman in my family had at least one child before they were 20. Education was never a priority, and even though they aren't religious, they believe that a woman's only purpose is to have kids and the man is the provider. Because of this, I have 4 younger siblings and about a dozen of cousins. Being the oldest, I had to be a second mother to my siblings and a babysitter for my cousins. This made me realize I don't want kids at the age of 10. 12 years later, and my opinion hasn't changed. I don't like kids and I don't want kids. Last year I had my tubes tied and I didn't tell my family. They are trying to push the idea that I'm nothing and my life is empty without kids on me. I've made my point clear many times, but they kept pushing it. Last night we had a big family dinner and they again tried convincing me to have kids, so I shut down everything they said in a not so nice way. They were going on and on about how amazing being a mom is and how that's their biggest accomplishment, so I reminded them of all the times they complained about having to take care of the kids, all the times they would cuss us out for doing kids things, all the times they would tell us how much they regret having us and how we ruined their lives. I reminded one of my aunts of all the times she would make 10 years old me take care of her 4 kids, all under 6, just because she was bored and sick of taking care of them herself. I reminded my dad of all the times he complained about how much money he had to spend on me and my siblings. And of course, I reminded them how they kicked us out at 18 because they don't have to care for us legally speaking. Then I just said something like, all my life you've done nothing but complain about having kids, and now you're sitting here telling me how kids are the best thing in the world. You're all hypocrites. Then I told them not to call me until they decide to apologize for bearding op-edit. I think she means berating, but I'm not 100% sure. Me and I left. They are all very mad at me, but my siblings and cousins say I could have made my point without making them feel like bad parents. So AIDA. My mom showed up at my apartment demanding that I make a formal apology to the family and berated me for my behavior. Then she went about how disappointed she is that she raised such a selfish excuse of a daughter. Then she left. So I sent the following message in the family group chat. I will not apologize for defending myself and standing my ground. I've put up with you for too long and I'm sick of having to justify my choices. I will live the way I see fit because it's my life. This so-called family never showed me any love or support. Even as a kid, I was just a free babysitter for your kids. I see you will never respect me or my decisions, so I don't see a reason for me to stay in contact with you. Do not contact me again. Oh, and BT, I had my tubes tied a year ago. Insert psych gif. Goodbye. Then I blocked them all. Update 2. Same post, December 3rd, 2022. Mom showed up at my work because how dare I talk to my family that way, and how dare I not give her grandkids. My boss had to call the police to have her removed because she was hysterical. I'm going to stay with my BFF for a while. I'm looking for a new apartment and a new job. My landlord was very understanding and she offered to help me move my things into storage before 15 January. My lease ends the 7th of January. She said she won't charge me any rent if I can move out by 15. She's amazing. My boss was also very understanding and offered to help me look for another job. I'm going to see a lawyer tomorrow to get a restraining order against my family members